I decided to choose for today. Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are endless. And that was Mother Teresa. And that is your thought for the day. And this is Jeffon Seely. He says, his title is Equality and Humanity. Equality and Humanity. The first quote is from A. Hamid Ali. Did not look A. Hamid Ali up, so I'll have to do that afterwards. Essence is who you are when all the pretending has fallen away. Essence is who you are when all the pretending has fallen away. And lots of people say that we all wear masks, which are not our true self, but we're presenting that face to the world, and the masks are different in different circumstances when we are not being authentically ourselves. And we've all done this, right? Essence is who you are when all the pretending has fallen away. So when the masks are gone, hey, that's who you are. That's who I am. And Ernest Holmes in Creative Mind says, we who are claiming the use of the greater law must emancipate ourselves from all sense of limitation. We're not to be governed by the outer confusion, but by the inner realization. So in other words, there's one power. That power is all there is. Some call it God, is running through each and every one of us. And if we truly believe that, then it's our job to use it. Belief, thought plus feeling, remember? Have you ever fallen into the trap of the illusionary dyad? Two things. This dyad is so deeply ingrained in our minds that we often are unaware of the silent hum that permeates nearly everything that we do. He says the dyad I refer to is the belief in superior/inferior. The idea that some people are superior or inferior to others. He says, as it relates to us, we fall into the illusion of believing that we are superior to some in certain ways and inferior to others in different ways. This dyad is fueled by income levels, neighborhoods, where we live, the color of our skin, the cars we drive, the schools we attend, the hospitals we're born in, the places that we've traveled to, the titles we hold, family structures, sexual orientation, political beliefs, religion, height, weight, and age. And one thing I should remember growing up in England is accent. I grew up in the north of England, and north of England accents are to some extent looked down upon, unless you have an educated northern accent, which I guess theoretically I do, but there we are. So lots and lots of ways in which we differentiate from other people, some for the positive and some for the negative, right? He says the list goes on. Countless external markers feed this illusion. And when this dyad rules our mind, equality cannot exist. When we see ourselves as superior, guess what? We exclude others, looking down on them as if they need saving, or at least changing, right? When we see ourselves as inferior, we exclude ourselves, shrinking back in insecurity. Dissolving this dyad is simple, but it requires our full attention. In other words, it's not easy. Simple, but not easy. The dissolution of this illusion leads us back to human equality. To begin this journey is to remember that every human walking this earth is inherently worthy by virtue of being empowered by God, the divine, the all, the infinite. If we truly believe this, and we also live this, the dyad will disappear. When you find yourself playing this game, rise above it and see God in all that there is. I've kind of added a little bit and changed the words a bit, but That is essentially like 95% of what he said. And one phrase that we learned, and my wife uses it quite a bit, is, what you think about me is none of my business. So if somebody is feeling superior to you, guess what? That's their problem. It is not your problem. If somebody's feeling inferior to you, yes, that is their problem again. But in the second place, I think our job is to help lift them up. And the first ones, it's not to put them down, but it's to show a good example of how to behave. So the two things kind of balance each other out. So what do you think about the reading? Pretty short. I usually don't give a tremendous amount of commentary. This commentary I've got on this is pretty simple. What you think about me is none of my business. And what I think about you is my business. And when he says that it's simple to actually change our view, he's right. But as I said, oftentimes simple and easy do not necessarily go together. So guess what? The usual lesson. We do our prayer work. We take some quiet time during the day. We do some breathing. Meditate how you will. Mantra, silence, concentrate on your breath. I use my breath. It's easier. Pray. Prayer. You got the power? Pray for yourself and others, knowingly. Pray in belief. Thought plus feeling. Pray in belief. That is affirmative prayer. It's not begging prayer. It's not demanding prayer. It's knowing prayer. It's simply claiming something and saying, this is how it is. And when you truly believe that, guess what? Things are going to happen. And the quote that he gives us, which for some, I know why it's there. I rise above the dyad of superior, inferior, and see God shining through all. I rise above the dyad of superior, inferior, and see God shining through all. And hope you don't mind if I plug my world religions class again. The link is there. 8 weeks, learn something about lots of different religions, all the way back to the old Stone Age, the Paleolithic era. And learn about primal religions, learn about maybe a little bit about ancient Egypt. Maybe you don't know much about Islam or Buddhism or Hinduism or Sikhism, or maybe you don't know much about Christianity. So, hey, it's a good class. Even though I teach you myself, I can't, like my mentor Bob Proctor used to say, I can brag about all this because none of it's mine, and it isn't. I've done research, I've got stuff. I did not come up with all the basic ideas. Other people did, and I'm using their ideas because that's how you do, right? When you study at college, you study what other people said and done and how they've learned to do things. So there you are. Please look out for two things tomorrow. My colleague, Reverend Lisa Ryan, 9:15. Practitioner Danielle Johnson, midday, or maybe after, depending on how busy she is. And until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.